Make a Path presents Let's Talk. Let's Talk The Walking Dead issue 147 predictions. The preview for issue 149 should drop any day now. In the letter hacks, Kirkman is teasing that the cover for 149 is going to be pretty epic, or at least have a lot of people talking. Right now, all I can think about is a cover with Michonne wearing Ezekiel's, star shirt. I think that would just be absolutely awesome. I don't know why, but I got that in my head now. I think that would be an epic new look for Michonne. Absolutely. Anyway, the cliffhanger in issue 146 was Eugene telling Rick to use Lydia to their advantage. But why? This is questionable because we know Kirkman likes putting cliffhangers in there that kind of morph into something different in the beginning of the next one. Sometimes the cliffhangers are what they are. Sometimes they're in there and they become something different. Like Eugene seems like he's saying that very menacing, like as if he wants to hurt or kill Lydia, but that might not be the case. I don't think that's the smartest use for Lydia, and Eugene's a very smart little son of a bitch, so I don't believe it's to hurt her per se. I think it's for something a little different. They could use her for bait, I guess, but to bait them to what? To a battlefield, to a trap? That's an option, but that just seems pretty weak, I guess. At this moment it does anyhow. They can use her to map out the territory. This is good because we know that the Whispers do travel. We know that they separate into groups. And we also know that they have a main camp, they go hunting, they might even go fishing if they can find water. Shit, Rick found water, so it's very likely there's different areas that the Whispers occupy. They could use Lydia to draw them maps to all their territories so they can watch them, spy on them, find weaknesses that way. That's also a possibility. I think that's a really good possibility right now as far as understanding where the Whispers hunt, where they sleep at, where they have little outposts maybe, where they like to camp, where they move, how they move. But then I'm thinking, is it something darker? Now on the cover of 147, we see that Andrea's here with Carl and Lydia. Are they running away or keeping Lydia away in order to keep her safe? Now we do know that on the covers, sometimes they'll have, 3 or 4 characters there, and when it actually happens in the scene, all the characters aren't there. So Andrea could be there with Carl and Lydia, and it would make sense if Andrea left because she was in the room, she heard Eugene say that. So it makes absolute sense. Maybe Andrea has a change of heart and says, Carl, we need to get Lydia out of here. We need to take her to the hilltop. Maggie said it was okay. They'll keep her safe. Or to the kingdom or anywhere else. Well, that's probably a bad idea because their leader is completely dead, So I'm thinking maybe Andrea's there, but they throw us curveballs. Like recently in my Walking Dead comic cover video breakdown series, I talked about cover 106. Very epic cover, however, Jesus is on the cover, but he's not actually with them in the story. So maybe Andrea's on the cover, but she's not actually with them in the story. Shit, Carl might be the one who's not with them in the story. Andrea could lead her out there. Who knows? That way they can, Eugene or some other people can grab her up so Carl doesn't know. They make it look like Lydia runs off. That would be crazy. And then Rick, again, gotta keep him from venturing out, but they can make it seem like Lydia just ran off and they could keep her hostage at the hilltop or the sanctuary or something. That would be pretty crazy. Again, though, they need good reasons for this type of deception. Now, I don't see them taking her hostage. I really don't see them using her to threaten, or bully Alpha, because that's not the goal here. Clearly, I hope the goal is to kill them, to exterminate them. That needs to be the goal. They're just too ruthless, too dangerous, too unpredictable. They gotta go. Right now, I think the smartest bet they could do, and this is what probably is what Eugene is thinking, I think they should get information off Lydia. Use Lydia and gather intel. Everything. I mean, for crying out loud, she is the daughter to the leader of their new enemies. She has to know a lot of information, a lot of shit about the Whispers. Where they hunt, where they fish, how they kill, who they kill, why they kill, where do they travel, how many do they travel with, do they break apart in scouting groups, do they travel in a big army, do they break away in different groups, how many different groups, how do they communicate when they break apart, why do they travel, is there territory where they sit down for long periods of time. They have this huge walker horde. How would they utilize that? How would they shift it? Where would they shift it to? What are these people like? You know what I mean? What members in their own community, their own Whisper community, what members can we turn? What members can we bribe? What members can we say, listen, you could be a part of our community, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, like destroy them from the inside out. They can use Lydia for this information. I believe that wholeheartedly. Now, this is a comic book, and that probably wouldn't be the most interesting story to tell, especially some of the spy shit, finding characters, finding other people inside the group to turn on the Whispers, maybe do some shit internally to get the Whispers to crumble and pick a new leader and have some beefs inside. I mean, obviously that might not play out the most interesting story, you know, in a comic book. However, this is a very good possibility that they're going to utilize Lydia as a tool to their advantage to gather as much information as they can about the Whispers, because honestly, if you sit back and think, how are we going to attack these Whispers? The number one thing holding you back is the fact that you don't know shit about them. That is the biggest weapon against it. Anyway, the cover for 149, like I said, should drop any day now. And when it does, I'm going to bring out a video for you guys. Listen, put your thoughts, opinions, and predictions about issue 147, 148, and 149. Why not? In that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.